So I have been calling it the Inner Beauty School podcast because it's been a really good bridge that kind of like took what I was doing in the beauty industry for the last decade. If you don't know, I worked in the beauty industry for 11 years. And so I've transitioned now into coaching and into working around goal setting and helping women achieve their goals. I've achieved so many amazing things. Now it's like me kind of reaching back and pulling other women specifically up into how they can heal their worthiness wounds and achieve their biggest goals and dreams in life. And so calling the podcast the Inner Beauty School felt like a really good transition. But as I am really grasping and really kind of putting down the foundation to where I'm going the next decade, I'm realizing that inner beauty means something different to a lot of different people, and it means something different to me. And I don't think it's fully getting my entire point across. So I'm thinking of changing the podcast name. So if you have any suggestions for me, please let me know. I kind of want it to be something, my signature course is called Becoming Magical, and I'm going to talk about that today. But so I want it to be something like that, something around magic, something around, I don't know. So anyway, if you have suggestions, I'm thinking on it. If you have something that you think would be a great fit, send it to me. And I don't know, I will give you a free hypnotherapy session with me. How about that? Okay, so today I really wanted to talk about what it means to become magical. So I've just finished up this amazing beta test for my signature program, and I set my intention to have at least one person say to me, wow, this material, what you've taught us in this course changed my life. Guess what? I had 2 people say something along those lines to me, and oh my goodness, the explosion that happened in my heart, in a good way, a good kind of explosion. We need to be careful with our words, right? We learned that last week. But it was such a phenomenal group. It was such a phenomenal experience for me to get to help assist people go through what I've had in my head that I know. And I've taken a few people through, but now I've been able to take people through the process and have these really, really amazing results. So, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So I want to share a piece of that with you today so that you can start to have some of these big ahas and big life-changing moments. I talked several weeks back about the question that my mentor and coach Jim Fortin asked me that changed my life. And that was, who do I need to be to create what I want to create? Well, I kind of took that and I ran with it because that is huge and that changed everything for me. So one of the things that I did when I I got this question, I was like, okay, how can I now make this like the most tangible thing that I could also help other people to put into practice in their own lives and in my life? And one of the things that I came up with was creating a version of yourself, creating an avatar, creating an alter ego, so to speak. I call it the magical version of you. So it's your avatar, it's your alter ego. It's been called all these different things. I call it, you can look at Beyonce. She had Sasha Fierce for so long, right? And so it's this idea that there's this sort of version of you that you can step into. So it's not, I hate like thinking of it like when we talk about being authentic, it is still authentic. It is the highest version of you. But as we've gone through our lives and as through our childhood, all these different things happen. I've talked a lot about those. Those are the subconscious things that get buried in our subconscious. And so how can we overcome a lot of those things? Well, this is a part of that. So this is just kind of, you want to uncover those subconscious beliefs and remove the blocks so that you can continue to uncover and discover this highest, best version of you. So it makes sense then to create what you imagine that might look like and start showing up as that version of you. So it's all about creating it, but it's not about creating this fake version of you, if that makes sense. It's about tapping into and understanding there are parts of you that may be underdeveloped. So they're there, like, for example, the confidence muscle to go speak in front of audiences, or to kind of like get past a fear of getting on camera, or whatever it is. Like if there's kind of like a thing that you want to do, right? You already have the desire in your heart. It's not something that is inauthentic. It's like you've already got the desire in your heart. It's already there. And it is my belief that, and I've said this before, if you have the desire in your heart, then you have everything within you to create that into your reality, to actually hold it in your hand, so to speak. But again, there might be these parts of you that feel a little bit like maybe you can't do it, or you have some doubt, or it doesn't feel like you would ever be able to. I like the, giving a speech analogy or thought around this is like, you might think, oh gosh, I could never do that. And yet you have a desire to do it. Well, that doesn't add up. That doesn't really make sense in my mind. If you have a desire to give a speech and to help people with what you want to talk about, with your words, with your story, with whatever it is, or if you have an idea to start a business, or if you have an idea to scale your business, whatever it is, we have these desires, but then we get in our heads about what is actually possible for us. And what I'm saying is you can actually create your own Sasha Fierce. You can create your own magical version of you that could do that. What would that version of you look like? So, for example, this is what I like to talk about. In every movie, especially the superhero ones, there's this moment where the main character, the superhero, whatever it is, they realize that they've gone through this journey, right, over the course of the movie, and there's this one moment where they suddenly are able to tap into something that is already there within themselves and really just like uncover their greatness and uncover their great power that is within them. Whether that is a superpower or just like standing up to the bully, or, whatever it is, there's this part of the main character in the movie that taps into this deep greatness within them. And again, it was there all along, but it took this journey to sort of uncover what that is. And we love those movies, right? Like I do. We love a good underdog kind of movie where the main character finally believes in themselves and finally taps into that greatness within them. But the thing is, we know that it is possible for everyone. And yet, all of a sudden, when it comes to us doing the thing, getting the goal, achieving the thing that we want to achieve, all of a sudden we're like, yeah, but I could never do that. And that is just bonkers. Like, that is just crazy. So how can we sort of remove that limitation off of us? And it is my thought and belief and knowing, because I've done it for myself, and this is what I've walked so many of my clients now through. If we can create what that version of us looks like, that superhero version, that greatest version, I call it the magical version of you. If we can create this sort of avatar of what that might look like, what type of person might accomplish this goal, and then begin to embody that and step into that version. Again, it is us, but it's this highest version of us. What might that look like? It's not a fictional version. I like to sort of think of it as like it's this version of you who's been asleep maybe for a little while. And all we're doing by creating this version and on paper, because I'm going to walk you through a little bit of a version of this. All we're really doing is waking her up. We're just waking up this highest, greatest, magical version of you. It's already there. It's already all inside of you. But how can you pull it up? How can you step into it? How can you wake this version of you up? And so the first part of it, and I have a download for you, so you can click in the description box or in the show notes, and you will see the link to grab this just little PDF that'll walk you through these questions. But what does it look like if like a version of you like that existed already, and or thinking about somebody else who has created something similar? So for example, like Beyonce, Sasha Fierce, she wasn't really like making up some kind of version of her that nobody ever did what she wanted to do. There were people that had gone before her who had done similar things. Yes, she's done it in her own way. And yes, she's an innovator and she's amazing and she's the queen. Let's be honest here. But it wasn't like she was impersonating something that didn't exist or had never been. It was that she was thinking about what would this look like for me if I were stepping into that version of myself. So we need to look at things like, how would I feel? How would I feel if I already had that goal? What would I feel like in my body? What would I be thinking? What would I be saying to myself? Like, what kinds of things would I say to myself? What kind of things would a person who has already achieved this goal be saying to themselves? You can go back 2 or 3 more episodes and listen to the internal dialogue and the self-talk and why that's so stinking important. But if you had already gotten to the goal that you wanted to get, whatever it is, fill in the blank, what would you be saying to yourself? I promise you, you would not be saying, I can't do this. This is too hard. What if I fail? You wouldn't, because you've already done it. So you've already got the thing. So what would you be saying to yourself then? What would your life already look like? Map it out in your mind, because you can't have anything that doesn't happen in your mind first. It always, always, always happens in your mind first. What kind of clothes would you wear? In my signature program, I have an entire assessment where we walk through place by place in our house, place by place, all the clothes, all the closet stuff, all the makeup, all the hair. What does that look like? Who is she? What would that version of you, that magical version of you, believe was possible for you? And then this is a huge one too. And again, in my program, we go through this on a really, 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 really deep level. But what would your environment look like? What would everything in your life look like if you already had that goal? But honestly, take all of that off the table and just go back to the first thing. And that is, how would you feel? And I want you to write all of these things out. It's so important to have it written down on paper. What is that version of you? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does she wear? How does she talk? How does she hold her body? Name her if you want to. I choose not to name it. I choose to just name it myself and envision it as me. I don't envision it as somebody else. It is me. So I don't think of it outside of myself. I think of it as myself. There's so many different ways to do this though. So feel what feels right to you. This is the place that you can create anything from. When you are stepping into that energy and embodying that version of yourself before you get the goal, well, now you're going to start showing up differently, and you're going to start taking different actions, and you're going to be tapped into your intuition, and you're going to know how to handle situations, because how does that most powerful, highest, best version of you handle this situation? And you can always then check into what that feels and looks like, and continue to shape and mold this alter ego, this avatar. You get to create what she looks, feels, acts like on an everyday basis, and then check into that and step into that. It's one of the most powerful things that you could ever do when you are on the journey toward a goal. This is such a powerful exercise. I cannot stress the importance of understanding who you need to be and how you need to work from the vision and not to the vision. You have to get the vision of what the goal is and then become the person or a person who would or could attain that goal. We all want to work the backwards way, like I talked about with the be, do, have. We all want to work backwards. We all want to say, well, when I have it, then I can be it. And that's not how it works. It's just not. You're never, ever, ever going to get where you want to go, at least not the highest, best, most powerful place, if you're working in that backwards way. Now, it feels backwards to say, well, who do I need to be, and start embodying that energy and that vision and that alternate version of you. Now that feels a little bit off, but only because we've never been doing it. We haven't been taught this stuff. But this is the key distinction. This is the key distinction maker to the successful people. They believe and they start showing up now as a person who would or could do the things that they want to do. They show up now before it happens the way they want to show up. So download this PDF, start to fill it out, start to create your avatar, your alter ego, your magical you, the highest, most authentic, best version of yourself. Create it and then start embodying that energy now, and you'll blow your own mind. You will blow your own mind with everything that you are able to do. So make sure you download that worksheet, get to work on it, because I know it's going to be super helpful for you. I hope you have a beautiful, magical, wonderful rest of the week. I'm going on vacation next week, so there will not be a podcast. I'm not releasing a podcast next week because I am gonna just chill all week long. And I am so excited. So have a beautiful, wonderful 2 weeks, and I will see you soon.